Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to literally transform your simple, everyday morning cup of coffee into a wildly powerful, inflammation-reducing health ritual. Seriously, the data we're looking at today completely challenges everything we thought we knew about our morning brew.
I mean, let's be real. Most of us just drink coffee for the caffeine jolt to wake up, right? But the science we are unpacking today shows that with one tiny, almost entirely overlooked adjustment, your daily habit can become a profound tool for your overall physical health. Okay, let's dive right into this. If you are constantly dealing with morning brain fog that just refuses to lift until noon, maybe a little quiet aching in your joints, bloating after meals, or those dreaded afternoon energy crashes, well, your morning routine might actually be working against you. So many adults experience these symptoms and just accept them as, a normal part of getting older. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the culprit is actually sitting right there in your favorite coffee mug? The source material we're exploring today suggests that like 99% of people completely misunderstand what coffee actually is. We treat it like a simple caffeine delivery system, completely ignoring the fact that it's actually one of the richest sources of dietary polyphenols available to us.
So what's the fix? Well, it might already be sitting right there in your kitchen cabinet. We're talking about a single clove, a basic baking spice that costs less than 10 cents but can dynamically do what pharmacy pills often simply can't. I know, it sounds almost too simple to be true, right? But the biological data we are about to look at is just absolutely fascinating. When you properly combine a standard cup of coffee with this specific, super inexpensive spice, it triggers this amazing cascade of systemic health benefits. We are talking about a massive upgrade to your routine. And the best part? No expensive supplements or total lifestyle overhauls required.
Now, what makes this whole thing tick is a really cool biological mechanism called food synergy. Basically, this means these ingredients don't just add up. In the math of your body, 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. It literally equals 10. You see, when we consume certain compounds in isolation, sure, they do a good job. But when we pair them together correctly, boom, they unlock completely new biological pathways. They amplify each other's effects to a degree that is, frankly, astonishing. And that is exactly what happens when the compounds in coffee meet the compounds in clove.
Just take a look at how brilliantly these two pair up. On one hand, your coffee brings chlorogenic acid to the table, which is amazing for protecting your liver and stabilizing your blood sugar. And on the other hand, the clove brings eugenol, which is this intense, natural anti-inflammatory. Get this, clove is the planet's absolute richest source of eugenol. No other spice on Earth even comes close to its content. Actually, studies show eugenol works even stronger than over-the-counter medications like ibuprofen in some instances. So you've got the ultimate antioxidant powerhouse in coffee, meeting the absolute ultimate anti-inflammatory in clove. Put them together, and you get that massive multiplier effect we were just talking about.
Okay, but before we get into the timeline of all these amazing benefits, we really need to address some pretty alarming data. If you're adding milk, cream, or sugar to your coffee, you are actually destroying 50 to 70% of its polyphenol bioavailability. Why? Because the casein protein in dairy literally binds to the polyphenols and totally blocks your body from absorbing them. This is where so many people go completely wrong. They take one of the most powerful, antioxidant-rich drinks on the planet, and they just drown it. Oh, and if you add sugar, you are immediately spiking your insulin, which actively cancels out half of the antioxidant benefits you were supposed to be getting in the first place.
So the hard truth here is that your massive sugary latte is really just a dessert that happens to smell like coffee. And listen, even if you want to start using clove, simply dropping a whole, uncrushed one into your mug gives you absolutely zero biological benefit. Let's run through these coffee killers real quick. Instant coffee, huge problem because the heavy processing wipes out the polyphenols before they ever even reach your cup. And as for the clove itself, it's an incredibly hard spice. If you just drop it in without any heat or without crushing it first, sure, you'll get a nice smell, but absolutely no eugenol extraction. On the flip side, if you boil the clove for more than 5 to 7 minutes, you ruin it. Eugenol is super heat sensitive and will be completely destroyed.
All right, let's shift gears and look at how these benefits actually build across an amazing biological timeline when you actively and correctly brew this combination. The best part? This isn't one of those things where you have to wait a whole year to notice a difference. The source data shows a highly specific, very rapid sequence of physical changes that begin the very first time you drink this blend, and they just compound over the next 90 days. We are going to walk through exactly what happens at each and every one of these key milestones.
So, within the very first 15 minutes, the eugenol goes to work gently relaxing the smooth muscle of your blood vessels. This gives you that pure, clean caffeine energy without that tight, anxious, jittery feeling in your chest. Honestly, if regular coffee gives you the jitters or makes your heart race, this is an absolute game changer.
You're still getting the energy from the caffeine, but the eugenol is stepping in to remove the anxiety. You get incredible mental clarity without the physical chaos. Plus, moving into that first 24-hour window, the carminative properties of the clove combine with the bowel-stimulating effects of the coffee to radically improve your digestion, which means a noticeable drop in gas and bloating almost immediately.
Fast forward to day 3 and you'll notice those wild hunger spikes starting to level out as your glucose absorption slows down. And by week 1, you'll start to noticeably feel quieter joints and a lot less morning stiffness as your systemic inflammation really starts dropping. This right here is that food synergy actively working. The chlorogenic acid from the coffee is slowing down how fast your gut absorbs glucose, while the eugenol is actually in there improving your insulin receptor sensitivity. Then, as you hit that 1-week mark, the drop in systemic inflammation becomes literally measurable. If your fingers chronically swell up or your knees ache when you roll out of bed, you're going to notice those issues quietly starting to fade away.
Pushing into the 1 to 3 month mark, things get really exciting. Your liver starts detoxifying significantly better, which naturally leads to clearer skin, and the thermogenic properties combined with your new insulin sensitivity actually help you shed weight for a total body reset. The research shows that regular coffee consumption is already associated with lower rates of fatty liver, but the eugenol totally amplifies this by reducing oxidative stress directly inside your liver cells. And because your liver is clearing out toxins so much more efficiently, those toxins aren't trying to escape through your skin. Which, by the way, is exactly why people often report looking younger. Your energy becomes steady, not spiked, leading to a truly profound transformation.
Okay, so how do we actually unlock this timeline? Here is the strict 5-step decoction protocol. First, you must slowly simmer 3 whole cloves in water for exactly 5 minutes. Next, remove the cloves. And finally, use that highly infused water to brew your black coffee. This is exactly how you do it correctly so you don't ruin the eugenol. You want whole dried cloves straight from the spice aisle, no ground stuff, no powders. Simmer them in about 10 ounces or like a 1.5 cups of water. Timing is absolutely critical here. Do not go over 5 minutes. Strain it out and then use that specific water to brew your coffee, whether you use a French press, a drip maker, or a pod machine. And then, drink it black on an empty stomach as the very first thing that enters your body in the morning.
Now, look, if you absolutely do not have 5 extra minutes in the morning, there's a workaround. You can take a single clove, crush it really heavily with the flat of a knife, drop it directly into your hot black coffee, and let it steep for 3 minutes. This still captures about 60 to 70% of the full effect. This is our quick method for busy mornings. Because you've broken the clove open, the hot coffee can actually extract the eugenol. It's not quite as incredibly potent as the full decoction, sure, but it is vastly better than nothing. And remember, if you absolutely positively cannot drink your coffee black, the data suggests skipping the dairy entirely. Instead, try adding a small spoonful of coconut oil or a pinch of cinnamon to help protect those precious polyphenols.
Now, as an impartial explainer of the source data, I want to be completely transparent here. If you are on blood thinners like warfarin, or if you have active ulcers, you really need to consult your doctor or just skip this specific routine entirely. Eugenol naturally has a mild anticoagulant effect that's wonderful for circulation in healthy folks, but it's definitely problematic if you're already taking high-dose aspirin or prescription blood thinners. Also, if you're dealing with active gastritis or severe reflux, coffee is an active aggravator, and adding clove is simply not going to cure a structural stomach issue. Always, always prioritize your specific medical reality.
But for the vast majority of adults out there, this is an incredibly safe, surprisingly powerful daily habit that costs less than 10 cents a day to maintain. Seriously, think about the incredible value here. We spend so much money on complex supplements and super complicated wellness routines when the answer might literally be sitting right next to your coffee beans. Just 5 minutes of preparation turns a mindless morning habit into an active, highly protective care ritual for your entire body.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. You're not broken. Your coffee is broken. Fix the coffee, fix the morning. And honestly, knowing that a simple 10-cent kitchen spice can completely upgrade your systemic health, will you be transforming your morning coffee tomorrow? You've got the science, you've got the exact decoction protocol, and you understand the timeline of benefits. It's a tiny shift with massive, massive potential. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, here's to a healthier, sharper, and far more optimized morning routine.